Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So today's video I'm going to be talking about why I basically don't care about my shade level in the game. So first of all, my shade level, I saw somebody comment on my shade level in one of my videos that said, "Look how low your shade level is. It just shows me that you never played the game." And this is not the first time. One time I match made in a mission, I think I was using my second account. And I think the shade level is somewhere around 100 and something. I can't remember, but they're almost the same. And somebody said, "Why is your shade level so low?" They didn't know it was me. And they said, "Oh, this is crazy." And I said, "Well, why don't let's finish the mission and then you can judge." I was using a healer build in that context. When the mission finished, I did the second most amount of damage and literally carried the team. I had the more revives and everything through that mission. And everybody else there had twice as much shade level as I did. I think the first aspect of why I don't care about shade level is, one, it doesn't define your skill level as a player. It really doesn't. You can do a lot of high XP farming to be able to boost your shade level. And yes, it does increase your player power if you use the shade watch. But I've basically ignored it because of a few personal reasons more than anything else. I'm not diminishing that anybody shouldn't farm for it. I'm just saying that the way it had been set up, the developers did not think too much about how they would prepare a fair system for XP gains that would lead to shade level boosting. So there was the controversy in the community about farming the target practice. Then there was a controversy, not controversy, but the deal about farming the was it the Warhound thing? What was that? That thing where you go to the tidal basin side of the map and then go deal with the Warhound, which was supposedly giving a lot of XP to some people, and people were doing that to farm, their shade levels. Well, what happened after that was the developers went ahead and basically nerfed these two things with the XP gains, but some people had already leveraged that and then advanced and moved ahead. What that showed me was that the developers actually want for you to constantly grind almost endlessly in this game, and kind of use that as another layer of them just delaying or prolonging the existing content in the game. And so once I saw that approach, I didn't even say anything. I didn't even make a video talking about it. I just laughed and said, "This is ridiculous. There are so many good games to play than invest all my time trying to boost my shade level. That's not gonna happen. I don't really need that kind of stress in my life. No, no, no." So what I basically did was I just went ahead and just invested in other video games. I mean, if you look at my library, I have like all these games that I would enjoy playing. And so I just started picking them off one by one. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I just went in there and I enjoyed, so far I've enjoyed 46 hours of the game. And I'm like, yeah, I want to play Far Cry 5. I have it on my PS4. A friend of mine talked me into getting it so he and I can play, and I haven't gotten time to play it. I want to replay God of War and put in some more time. In the same space, guys and girls, I beat Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2. I was about to go into Uncharted 3. Then, I think I kind of got sidetracked by Assassin's Creed. And having fun with all these single-player games that I do like has been much more beneficial for me than farming shade levels, because the development team wants us to grind endlessly. Now, I know that, I'm a big, massive fan, and I've told a lot of our community in my videos, or mentioned it, people don't like being told what to do, that one of the best ways to enjoy the Division is actually taking significant amount of breaks from the game. This is how you're going to enjoy this game, because if you think about it, the amount of time that you spend playing this game and the amount of money, which is what we'll call the value proposition, is insane. So if you paid maybe even for the deluxe of the deluxe of the deluxe edition, and maybe you spent $300 on this game, for every hour that you played, if you compared that to $1 an hour, you still gained a lot of value proposition regarding gameplay from the game. In fact, if you go buy another game that's on sale and play that game for the amount of time allotted to it, you've gained more, in my opinion. So I've played 700 hours on this account. I think on my other account, I've played over 100 and something hours. I can say 800 hours in total for the amount of money that I've spent. I've not spent $800 on the Division. If anything, I probably spent a total of under $200 max. I bought the gold edition for this account. I bought the other account when it was on sale. I bought it on Epic Games. I bought my DLCs and all that. I went ahead and got a copy on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, even though I don't have an Xbox One. But I didn't spend too much money on it, which is something I don't really do. I don't buy deluxe editions. I'll probably buy gold at the max because that's what I wanted to do to get the 7-day early access here. But I didn't do that. This Assassin's Creed I paid $9 for, and I've gotten 46 hours out of it. To me, that value proposition, if I was to compare it to $1 an hour, I've basically multiplied my my gains regarding the gameplay that I'm getting from it, and I've not had the frustration that you can get from playing the Division if I had invested all that time just in the Division and basically have to deal with the problems of the game. This is why basically my perspective of the game has been very different, because it's refreshing to play other games and come back to it. And I think this is what all these so-called RPG looter shooter games want to do, the carrot on the stick. And I would have been playing the Division, honestly, much more frequently if some of my friends did not influence me this way. So even though you may say, well, but you're a content creator, you should play the game much more. Well, I'm going to put some blame on my friends that were playing this game with me very dedicatedly. So when the raid came out, I made a very tight-knit connection of friends. Shade, Skeptic, Jim's the one that gave me my Eagle Bearer. And what I've seen is, as the game started to get to a point, I started looking at the games that they were playing more often than when they were not playing the Division. And they were playing all these other games and enjoying themselves. And so I said to myself, well, why am I not playing other games and enjoying myself? And instead, all I do is sit on the Division, and then I'm burned out. And even when they want to play, I've already played so many hours, and when it's time for me to even play with them, I can't play anything more than 2 or 3 hours with them, because before we'd play 5, 6, 7 hours together, have a blast. And so I just thought to myself, I think this is the best way to go. So rather than investing that time in farming for shade levels and gaining some level of player power that is basically going to amount to either nerfs in the future or some kind of drastic change that, negates everything, why not just play the game for why not just pick a specific line of achievements and actually go for it? So my line of achievements have been basically to gather and garner all the exotics in the game. And, the ones that I actually am interested in anyways, because I've not been able to get them all. There's one thing I'm still missing on both accounts, I think. And I think that's the Ninja Messenger backpack. Because I said backpack. Sorry, Division 1 getting in here. The knee pads. And I think that's a Dark Zone exclusive. And the Hollow Man mask, that's also a Dark Zone exclusive. I'm not going to deal with that RNG. No. I'll go in the Dark Zone, go farm something, and then have the possibility of somebody trying to come steal it from me. That's not going to happen. I'd rather go play another game than deal with that. And I think that has basically allowed for me to appreciate the Division more, because I don't get to throw in too much of my magnification glass in the game that would then magnify all the problems instead of seeing the good sides of the game. And I know that there are problems, and it's because of these problems I have chosen to basically avoid aspects of the game. And I think if you're having problems with the game and you're seeing a lot of the diminishing returns, which is you're seeing the problems, I would encourage you to do what we veteran Division players have done for years. I mean, I'm talking to people who play Division 1 day 1 and are still playing the Division 2, even though they know it has problems, is you've got to pick and select other games that you can throw in the middle of this games that you will be much more entertained by, much more appreciative of, to take on your hours of gameplay. So I hope this video was kind of helpful. This is one of those videos where, I'm talking about what I do, and I've seen people say, I don't like videos about me. And I'm like, well, you've never made content before. Try it and see if you can really divorce your own self when you're talking about content, and then you can come back and report to us content creators, because our opinions sometimes some members of the community want to hear, and that's just because that demand is there. Sometimes we feel the urge to actually give it in some contexts. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. I guess I'll see you all hopefully in the next one. Peace.